Hey, welcome. Today we are talking about AI agent design patterns. As large language models get more capable, developers are building systems where the model does not just answer once. Instead, it plans, calls tools, checks its own work, and even teams up with other agents. Design patterns are simply proven ways to structure these systems. In the next few minutes, we will walk through the main patterns, when to use each one, and how to keep things simple. Let us dive in. First, an important distinction. A workflow is a system where the steps are fixed in advance. You, the developer, write the path the code follows, and the language model fills in pieces along the way. An agent is different. Here the model itself decides what to do next, which tools to call, and when it is finished. Agents are more flexible but harder to control. A good rule of thumb: start with a workflow, and only reach for a full agent when the task truly needs that freedom. So why patterns at all? Because most agent problems have been solved before. Instead of inventing structure from scratch, you pick a pattern that fits. Andrew Ng popularized 4 agentic patterns: reflection, tool use, planning, and multi-agent collaboration. Separately, teams at Anthropic described common workflow building blocks like chaining and routing. Together these give you a toolbox. The skill is not using the fanciest pattern. It is choosing the simplest one that gets the job done reliably. Pattern 1 is reflection. The idea is simple: the model reviews its own output and improves it. Imagine asking it to write some code. With reflection, a second step asks the model, does this code have bugs? Is it readable? The model critiques itself, then rewrites. You can even loop this a few times. Reflection dramatically improves quality on writing, coding, and reasoning tasks, because the first draft is rarely the best draft. The cost is extra model calls, so use it where quality matters most. Pattern 2 is tool use. On its own, a language model only predicts text. It cannot search the web, run code, or read a database. Tool use fixes that. You describe a set of functions, like search or calculate, and the model chooses when to call them. The model outputs a request, your code runs the real function, and the result goes back to the model. This is how agents connect to the real world, and it is the foundation almost every other pattern builds on. Pattern 3 is planning. For complex tasks, jumping straight to an answer often fails. Instead, the model first breaks the goal into smaller steps, then tackles them one by one. Think of booking a trip: find flights, then hotels, then build an itinerary. A popular version is called React, short for reason and act, where the model alternates between thinking out loud and taking an action. Planning makes agents far more capable on multi-step problems, but plans can drift, so it helps to recheck progress along the way. Pattern 4 is multi-agent collaboration. Instead of one model doing everything, you split the work across several specialized agents. One might be a researcher, another a writer, another a reviewer. They pass results to each other, much like a small team. This keeps each agent focused and its instructions simple. The trade-off is coordination: more agents mean more moving parts, more cost, and more chances for messages to get lost. Use multiple agents when the task naturally splits into distinct roles. Beyond those 4, there are lighter workflow patterns worth knowing. Prompt chaining links several model calls in a line, where each step's output feeds the next. Routing sends a request to the right handler, like directing a support question to billing or technical help. Parallelization runs several calls at once and combines the results, which is great for speed or for getting multiple opinions. These are often all you need, with no autonomous agent required. 2 more powerful patterns. The orchestrator worker pattern uses a lead model that breaks a task into subtasks, hands them to worker models, and then merges their output. It is like a manager delegating to a team. The evaluator optimizer pattern pairs a generator with a checker. One model produces an answer, a second grades it against criteria, and the feedback loops back until the answer passes. Both add reliability, and both are really just reflection and planning applied at the system level. Here is what tool use looks like in practice. You define a tool with a name, a description, and its inputs. You pass that definition to the model along with the user's question. The model replies, not with text, but with a request to call your tool and the arguments to use. Your code runs the function, captures the result, and sends it back. The model then writes the final answer. That request, run, respond loop is the heartbeat of nearly every agent you will build. So how do you choose? Start simple. If a single prompt works, stop there. If you need fresh data or actions, add tool use. If quality matters, add reflection. If the task is complex, add planning. Only reach for multiple agents when the work clearly splits into roles. The best engineers add complexity slowly and measure at each step. If this helped you make sense of agent design patterns, follow for more plain English AI explainers. Thanks for watching.